Elsewhere now, the Court of Appeal has held a special court session to begin its 2023-2024 legal year. The legal year ceremony is a long-established tradition ushering in the new legal year and also providing an opportunity for justices to reflect on the successes and challenges of the previous year, review them, and also explore what lies ahead. You know, this is coming on a day fire broke out at the Supreme Court Abuja. The fire incident started at about 8 a.m. from the Justice Chamber 5 on the 4th floor. Supreme Court Fire Service, we understand, managed to put up the fire, and security personnel were on ground to ensure law and order. Chambers of the justices are located right behind the courtroom of the Apex Court, and the Chamber 5 that was affected is occupied by Justice Mohammed Saulawa. Two other offices, according to sources, were also affected by the fire, which was reportedly a result of an electric spark.
The soft copies of all the documents that are there. So we have e-library here. So those are just hard copies, and the soft copies are still there, so they can still be we can still replenish the burnt library, which each chamber has a library. So what happened was just a normal, maybe electrical problem that resulted in a fire outbreak, and the staff were able to effectively douse it with the use of the fire extinguishers that are strategically placed in the Supreme Court. Every floor has a lot of fire extinguishers, and they were able to combat it effectively, and they put it off, so it could not even spread far before the firemen were able to come to also give their own support. That was all.
I'm joined now by Judiciary correspondent Celestina Area, live from Abuja. Celestina was at the Supreme Court after the news of the fire broke earlier today. It would seem the narrative of the fire incident being an attack on the Apex Court doesn't hold water, based on what we're hearing, Celestina.
Well, Nifemi, the fire did happen. It happened at about 8 a.m. to the local time. It has nothing to do with an attack on the judiciary or the Apex Court. It was an unfortunate incident that happened due to an electric spark, as we were told by the Director of Information, Mr. Festus Akande. Yet, fortunately, the responders, that's the fire service at the Supreme Court, were able to respond swiftly, and also due to the fire extinguishers located at the chambers of the justices, they were able to put down the fire. Though that particular chamber was razed down, documents were burnt, and also two other offices were affected. The content or the information were not lost because the Supreme Court has a system where documents are filed and saved. So there is a backup server and a place where all these documents are being kept. So what was affected today were just hard copies of these documents. And it was Justice Mohammed Saulawa's chambers. We know the Supreme Court, wanting to ensure that the justices are comfortable and safe, will swiftly reorganize the justice's chamber or assign him to another chamber where he'll be comfortable to discharge his duties.
And this has no impact on the presidential election petition as been claimed in some quarters, right?
Not at all, Nifemi, because what is being filed now at the Apex Court is a notice of appeal, because the petitioners, who are now applicants, have 14 days, I beg your pardon, to file their appeal from the day judgment was delivered by the Presidential Petitions Elections Court. If you look at Section 285, if they file within 14 days, the respondents will have 7 days to respond, and if the applicants who were the petitioners have further response, they have 5 days to do that. So it has absolutely no bearing or no effect or impact on the appeal that will come before the Apex Court. So it has nothing to do with the petitions that arose from the Court of Appeal, which sat as a Presidential Election Petitions Court.
Is it clear if an investigation is to be opened over the fire?
Well, most definitely, because the Apex Court has a police outpost and also a fire service outpost. The DPO of the Supreme Court was on ground today, though she spoke off camera that everything will be looked into to know what really caused the fire. But although we were told by the Director of Information that it was an electric spark, but it is important that they would do their preliminary investigations and finding to be ensure that it was not instituted by anybody, or it was, if it's an electric cause, yes. So, but so far so good. I believe, or we believe, that they would look into it and know the true cause of the fire incident.
Perhaps in the coming days, we'll explore angles like if there were sprinklers in the building and if the Apex Court is built to withstand such incidents.